Plaintiff CHRISTYL Carpenter dated the defendant, and they have a child together. CHRISTYL claims after living together for 3 years, she discovered the defendant was cheating, so they broke up. She's suing her ex for breach of contract. Defendant Levator Tucker admits that he was young when he and CHRISTYL were together, and he wasn't ready to settle down. Levator insists CHRISTYL is suing for more than he owes.
Start with you.
I met Levator back in 2009 at my open house. I was headed off to Eastern Michigan University. And,
now you pandering. Go ahead. You know what pandering is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
playing on my emotions.
Sorry.
And
we
telling me
met
things I want to hear that might make a difference. Knowing that I attended and graduated from Eastern Michigan University.
Well, I didn't finish, but yeah, I was going off to Eastern Michigan. We met. We hung out that day, the night of my open house, with mutual friends, things like that. We exchanged phone numbers, and eventually we started dealing with each other.
Was he in school?
No. He was back home. He was working.
Okay.
We
back home where?
Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we exchanged numbers. We hung out. A year later, I had our son, Chase. And then I decided to leave school to come back home so I can start working so I would be able to provide for Chase. Levator was providing for him, but I wanted to also provide for him. So I came back home and I became a pharmacy technician. I got certified in that.
Yeah.
And I started working. We decided to move in together. We lived together for a few years. During that time, things got a little rough.
3 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were living together for that time. I started getting suspicious of Levator's activity. He was coming home like early in the morning next days,
How old
staying
was
out
he?
late. At this time,
How old when you all had a child?
I was 19, so he was 21.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
he
we were
wasn't
young.
ready for that. He wasn't ready for that type of commitment. Mm-hmm.
We were young. So yeah, he started cheating. We eventually broke up, and we just decided to just co-parent at that point.
And that's been how long? Since we broke up?
We broke up in 2015.
Okay.
And we've been co-parenting ever since.
Okay. Not dealing with each other, just co-parenting.
Just co-parenting.
All right.
We did try to get back together at one point, but it didn't work. So we just strictly made it co-parenting.
All right, I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, I mean, she basically got it down. You know, I met her when I was like 19, 20. I was back at home working. Met her at the open house, like she said, through a mutual friend. And we hung out. We had our child or whatever. I was actually providing for a second while she was going to school. And then she came back home, and I held things down.
Did you advise her not to? What was your?
No, I mean, it was just a decision that she made, and I wasn't.
But you didn't have any input. Y'all were going together. You all had a child together. I'm sure you could influence her.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but I didn't.
Did you suggest she stay in school?
At first I did.
And she said no?
Yeah, she had her mind made up, and it wasn't a bad decision.
That's what I'm asking. You tried.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad decision.
Okay, he tried to get you to stay in school?
Yeah, he thought I should, but it wasn't what I wanted to do at that time.
All right. It's good to hear, though.
Yeah.
Okay. And because that's very important that you did get a skill, ultimately, so that's good. But I just wanted to know where your head was when you got a woman that's in college advancing herself, which if you all are going to be together, or if she's alone with her child, she can advance and live a quality of life, an environment that the child would grow up in, crime-free, stress-free, a district where there's a good education system, or paying for private school. All those things come with having a job that pays enough to take care of a family. The more money you have, the better life your child is going to have. I don't have to tell you that. Exactly. So if you wanted the best life for your child, you would say to your girlfriend, baby, stay in school. I'll just work 2 jobs. I'll get a second job. Don't you leave school. That's important. That little 4 years that you have to do, that's going to change our lives forever. Maybe you didn't know how to convince her correctly.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, I'm sure she had common sense, and if you said you're going to work 2 jobs, you didn't throw that part in, did you?
I ain't throw that
There you go. Should have threw that in. All right. And so she came home. How did that go?
It went well for the first few years, a couple of years. And it eventually turned bad. Like, she's an angel in the beginning, you know. But then, you know, due to me, and it was just a whole 360. It was like
you weren't ready to settle down, really.
I wasn't. I was a young guy.
Yeah, no.
Young guy.
And folks need to understand that perhaps women are ready in their 20s, early 20s, because they mature quicker than men. However, a man is not ready to really settle down and never have another woman, he's not ready for that in his 20s, because that's the essence of a lifetime commitment. You're saying, I'll never be with another woman in my life. And I don't see that coming out of a young man who's in his early 20s to commit to. So for those young folks who are watching, just keep that in mind, that if you're marrying a young man or settling down or think you're settling down with a man in his early 20s and that he's never going to see another woman, you got another thing coming.
Okay.
All right. So tell me what happened with the monies here.
Okay, so when we broke up in 2015, February, I had Levator sign a promissory note. I stayed back home at our apartment and he moved out. So he was taking the car with him and I was like, you know, we're not together anymore. I won't be there like when you're making your payments and things. So, you know, just sign this stating you're gonna keep up payments. If anything ever happened, you're totally responsible for any money owed, anything. He agreed, so we signed, and I have that here if you want to see it.
Let's see it. And what has been the result of the agreement?
The result of that, he lost his job and things like that, so he weren't able to make payments. The car eventually got repoed in December of 2017. The law firm came shortly after with the final bill, and they wanted their money. I paid $1,000, and after that, Levator was supposed to make $100 payments monthly. He made 3 and stopped. So the law firm came again. They wanted their money. So at that point, I just reached out. I actually received a letter, which I have. They were just saying, you know, we know you paid $1,000. If you pay another $1,138, we'll release you, and we'll go after him for the rest. So at that point, I made that payment, and I have both receipts for those. Okay. And after that, I was like, now I want my money.
All right, sir. What do you say to the debt and the agreement that you haven't paid?
I just feel like I know I signed a promissory note, and I just feel like I'm not solely responsible for whatever the debt is.
Then why did you sign it?
Because at the time I did have good intentions on keeping up my end of the bargain and keeping up the payment.
So what made your intentions change?
It really wasn't my intentions changing. It was due to me losing my job. And at that time I was paying like $600 a month in child support and actually still being in my son's life too. You know what I'm saying?
What does that have to do with the vehicle?
I mean, it has something to do with me making the payments.
Okay.
And then,
but now you're saying you don't think you should. And that's what I'm trying to understand. You say you intended to, and that's why you signed the agreement.
Exactly.
But then now you've changed your mind and say you don't owe. No, so that's the part that's confusing me.
No, I'm not saying that I don't owe. Okay. I just feel like I'm not responsible for like the full bill because I asked for help.
That means you don't owe what you agreed to pay. If you say now you only feel you're responsible for something else and not what you agreed to pay.
Okay.
All right. Did he tell you why he didn't go to college?
No.
No, seriously, because let me just say also, college isn't always just for your career. You get much more advantage in college because you learn critical analysis, how to see a situation, analyze it, and solve it. That's what college really teaches you. And see how your analysis is off?
Yeah, but
you're totally off. You just signed an agreement, and then you said, "But I know I owe. I intended to pay when I signed it, but now I don't think I want to pay."
No, it is.
Why? Because $600 in child support. That's why. She getting enough for the baby. What she want the car for?
Yeah, but that wasn't my intentions.
That's not good analysis. So.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I ain't have intentions on leaving.
What's the status of your career now?
I'm working.
Okay,
I'm working.
What type of job?
I still work at a plant.
Okay, good. You work at the plant?
Township. Yeah.
All right, sir. And you getting your child support now?
Well, yeah, I lowered it. Yeah.
You lowered it?
Yeah.
The court didn't lower it?
No, the court didn't lower it. We went and we had an agreement. I lowered it.
Oh, that don't mean nothing when you get to court, that agreement.
Well, we got there and they accepted what we decided to do.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
That's what I was asking. Have you been to court?
Yeah.
Okay, and they lowered it.
Yeah.
All right, they agreed to what you all wanted to do.
Yep, what we decided,
All right,
they agreed.
But a lot of times they reject that. It's not your money, it's not your agreement for you, it's the agreement for the child. And you have no real defense, sir. And I'm gonna order you to pay $2,139 as you agreed to. Have a good day.
I mean, like, we don't hate each other. We're cool. We're gonna raise our child. We're gonna keep co-parenting like we've been doing.
Yeah, and it's the same for me. I agree. You know, there's no hard feelings. It's not like we gonna beef. We got a good relationship, so.
Yeah, we good. I just wanted my money.